Hi guys, it's Addicted to Beauty here, and today I'm coming to show you guys my full face tutorial. It's super easy, 4 steps, that's all it takes. So I'm going to show you guys how I apply my bronzer, my concealer, my blush, and highlighter. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys today the products I'll be using as well as the brushes I'll be using to complete this look. For my concealer, I am using Tartes Ultra Creamy Shape Tape Concealer, and I am the shade Fair Neutral 12N. So that is my concealer. I will be using Fenty Beauty Fire Crystal Highlighter for my highlight. For my blush, I'll be using Morphes shade Always Blushed. It's a powder blush, not a liquid blush. And then for my bronzer, I will be using the Airbrush Bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 2. And for my brushes, I will be using my Fenty Beauty highlight brush. And for my bronzer, I will be using this kind of curved brush. It kind of is at an angle a little bit, so I'll be using that. And then I will be using my big powder brush to set everything on my face. And before I forget to tell you guys, for my face powder, I will be using Airspun's loose face powder, and this is the brush that will go with it. And then for setting our concealer, I will be using this spongy. And then for my blush brush, I will be using this big fat fluffy brush. And I think that's it. No, it's not. I'm missing a brush. Oh no, I'm not. I already have it out. And then for setting under my eyes, I will be using this brush. It is Morphe M536. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello to the two who have joined. Welcome, and let's get started. So I've already done my eyebrows, and I've set under my eyebrows, and I've done my mascara as well. So after I've completed my eye look, I go through and I just cover up any acne that I might have at the time whenever I'm doing my face makeup. And once I get everything covered, I go in with my spongy, and then I just dab everything to blend it in towards my skin. And then I'm gonna blend it up here by my forehead. I kind of like beat the shit out of my face. It looks intense. Like I'm like hitting my head so hard. I don't know why. So once I start to blend everything in, I try to make sure, because my concealer's a tad bit lighter than my actual skin, so I kind of try and make sure that everything's blended and not like, here's my skin and then here's my concealer. I want to try and make everything look as natural as possible. So once we have covered up any acne or unwanted marks, I go ahead back with my same concealer, and I go ahead and then I start to work on my under eyes. So once I apply the concealer, I kind of let it set for about 30 seconds before I blend it, just because the longer it sits, the more of like a brighter under eye you'll get rather than just blending it as soon as you apply it. So I'm just gonna let it sit for a couple more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and just blend it all in. And when I blend my concealer, I blend it in upwards motion towards the side of my head, just to give my face, once the makeup is all applied, give it more of like a lifted look, because I'd rather have my face looking lifted than looking down and droopy. I totally got concealer like right on my eye. Oh my gosh, that burns. So once you have blended all of the concealer under your eye, I go in with the pointed side just to make sure, and I kind of blend this little line some, just so it doesn't look like I'm like a tiger with like a line on my freaking face. So once I've done that, I hurry up and I grab my face powder. You don't need a whole ton. And then I go in with my under eye brush and I get some of the face powder on my brush and I tap off a bunch of the extra, just so you don't look like a ghost. And then I go ahead and I just roll that face powder on. So I take my brush in like a rolling motion and I just apply it under my eye like so, just to set everything before we get any lines or creases under our eyes, because we don't want to look like we're 75 if we're 20. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing we just did on that side to this eye. And then I'm gonna let it set. And then once it's set a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead back with the same blending motions. And then once I get it all blended, I take that pointed side of my blendy sponge and then I blend out that line on the side of my face like so. And then once you've blended everything, I go in with that same brush and I get more face powder. I'm doing it over here on my table, so that's why I'm looking to the side. And then we go ahead and set our under eye. And then once you've set your under eye, you can set over your nose as well, if you prefer. And then I just kind of go back and forth on both eyes now that they're both concealed and set. And then once you've completed your under eyes, I take my big fluffy powder brush and then I go ahead and I fling powder on my hand. Totally did not, I totally did not mean to do that. It just kind of happened. I hate this powder because it literally gets everywhere, but I mean, it gets the job done. So then I take the powder on my brush, tap off the excess, and then I just go ahead and lightly dust my face in the powder, just to get everything ready for the blush and the bronzer and the highlight. So once you have set your face, we are done with the powder. Thank you God, because it is literally getting everywhere. And I start off with my nose. For my nose, I take my concealer and I start about here, and then I just drag the concealer down my nose, and then I apply a little bit in my T-zone, so I just write a little T on my forehead. This just gives more of like a vibrant, like, what am I trying to say? It gives more of like a pop to your nose, like if you want to look like you had a nose job done, or if you're like insecure about your nose or whatever. I just do it because it helps hold the highlight on my nose better. Because if I don't do it, then like my highlight ends up coming off like by the end of the day. So I like concealing my nose first before I apply any highlight, just to hold the highlight. So I go with the pointy side of my blendy sponge, and I just pat everything in, and I go around my nose onto the side of my nose bridge, and I apply it there just so it's not like here and then it looks like you have just concealer. So I kind of try and blend it inward so nobody could really notice that you have concealer on your nose. And then once you've finished setting your nose, I go in and set my forehead one more time, like so. And then we are officially done with the concealer. There's no more concealer in the rest of this tutorial. Next, I go in with my bronzer. I am using Charlotte Tilbury, and it's in the shade 2 medium. I didn't really want like a dark bronzer. I kind of wanted like a natural bronzer, so this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna go in with my bronzer brush that kind of slants to the side, and then I get bronzer onto the brush. I get a good amount, and then I kind of shake off the excess, and I tap it off just so it doesn't come out super dark because I'm really pale. So if I apply a whole bunch, I'm gonna look weird. So when I apply my bronzer, I start from kind of by my ear, and I drag it all the way down to my mouth. And I kind of like push my face to one side just to kind of pop out my cheekbone more and to give more of like a defined like area for where we're gonna apply the bronzer. And when you go to apply bronzer, you're always gonna apply it below your cheekbone, just because it kind of gives more definition and pops your cheeks out. So I'm gonna just apply it like so, and I just go in an up and down motion. And like I said, you don't want to apply a whole ton, especially if you're really fair, because you're just going to look like you have brown lines on your face, and it's just going to look real freaking weird. So I just apply a tad bit just to give enough definition to your face, but not a whole ton where it looks like I got tiger stripes going on. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of my face. Same techniques, nothing changed. Like so. And then I kind of try and like blend the bronzer that's like by my lips. Like I try to blend it with my hand just because I don't like how it sets right next to my mouth. It makes it look like I ate a bunch of chocolate and I don't know how to clean my face. So I just kind of blend it away like so. And then I go back in with a little bit more just to apply right by our hairline. You can see I totally didn't like tap off enough extra, so now it looks like I have a really brown forehead. So I'm gonna have to blend it for kind of a minute or so. But I apply this right up on my hairline, and I kind of like blend it a little bit into my hair, which is okay. And then once you've finished applying, hello Simon, I'm gonna get just a tad bit more bronzer just to complete our look down here. And then if you prefer to, you can like apply bronzer right under your jawline to give you like more of a defined jaw. I'm a little chubby, so this works for me sometimes. Just kidding, I'm not chubby. Okay, so once you have applied your bronzer, we are complete with the bronzer. No more bronzer. We're all done there. We will go in with our blush. So I'll be using Morphes Always Blushed Powder Blush. I've never used like liquid blush. I've only ever used powder blush. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And then I go ahead with my big fluffy brush and get some blush right on it. I kind of pack it in just to make sure we have enough, but not like too much. And then for applying blush, I go ahead and smile. And then I go in a circle motion, like so. And I just apply the blush right onto my cheekbones where they pop out the most. And then this blush is extremely fair. So like with this blush on fair skin, you can kind of use a lot and like get away with it because it's such a light pink. But that's what I prefer, is a really light and fair blush just to like match my skin tone and everything. Like so. And then once you've applied enough blush to your liking, I don't like a full ton, we will move on to the highlighter. I'm using Fenty Beauty Fire Crystal, my absolute favorite color in here. I still to this day haven't used Lightning Dust yet. This is Lightning Dust, this is Fire Crystal. I've only used Fire Crystal, I don't know why. I just love that color. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pack on the highlight like so, and then shake off the extra, and then the same, kind of like the same face I just made for the bronzer, I do the same for the highlight, like so, and then I apply it right above the blush and kind of go on top of the blush a little bit. As you can see, we are shining, baby. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Like so. We are highlighted. So then, my favorite part, the nose. I get more highlight and shake it off. Same technique. And then I start right here in the middle of where my eyebrows meet, and I just drag the whole brush down. Just drag it down, drag it down. And then boom, we got a highlighted nose. And then I take whatever's left on my brush and just gently apply a little bit more right above my brows. Like so. And then you guys remember that big ol' powder brush we use? We're gonna get that out one more time. We are not gonna put any face powder on it. We're gonna tap out whatever's left, and we're gonna use this. I use it also as a blending brush when I apply my face makeup, just to blend everything together, and I blend it in a circle motion, and I go upwards towards the side of my head just to make sure everything's blended together and it's not kind of caked on. It gives you more of a natural look, like so. And I don't really wear lipstick, but today I'm gonna go ahead and put this on just to finish off our look. I will be using Too Faced Lip Injection Maximum Plump Extra Strength. So I don't like lipstick. I don't like the way it looks on me. I usually use lip gloss or chapstick, like, and then I call it good. I hate lipstick. It's just weird to me, and Nope. So I'm just gonna apply my lip gloss on. Boom. I don't like to have like too much attention to my lips. I love attention to my eyes, and that's really it. So once we have done our face, we're gonna go in with our setting spray, and I'm using Morphe continuous setting spray in the little mini travel size bottle. And then when I set my face, I spray downwards, side. Don't talk when you're doing this. Holy crap. And then side. So straight down, X, X. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys learned something new, maybe something real simple for you to do for your face to give more of a attention to your face. I hope you guys liked it. Go ahead and leave me a like, comment,